Scales are cleared, the gates are locked, the accounts of every human soul have been permanently settled. For 3,000 years, the environment of the abyss undergoes a thermal evolution. It is stoked for 1,000 years until it burns red, another 1,000 until it reaches a blinding white, and a final 1,000 years until the heat consumes even the light itself. This intensity results in a realm of absolute, suffocating darkness. The flames no longer glow, they only crush. In a place where every physical sense is saturated by pain and every clock has stopped, the psychological capacity for hope should be extinct. Yet a single unique frequency remains active. Deep within the lightless void, a voice rhythmically calls out two names: Yahanan, Yamanan, O most compassionate, O most bountiful. This vibration travels upward, cutting through the roar of the fire and the weight of the dark, until it reaches the angel Gabriel in the heavenly realm. Gabriel finds it impossible to reconcile. A consciousness submerged in the furthest reaches of agony is still addressing the Creator using titles of limitless kindness. 1,000 years of torment usually erodes the identity, yet this man's internal landscape remains centered on the mercy of the being who allowed his punishment. Following a divine command, Gabriel instructs Moloch, the keeper of hell, to locate the source of the chant. Moloch searches the pits, but cannot find a human form. The extreme environment has fused iron, stone, and flesh into identical, carbonized mounds of coal. Finding him requires divine coordinates. Only then does Moloch locate the man, bound head to toe and covered in venomous creatures, exactly where the Creator pointed. Standing before God, the man offers no excuses. He confesses to a life of transgression, but he holds to one defense. He never once severed his hope in the possibility of forgiveness. This internal, unbreakable tether to the divine acts as a mechanism of salvation. His refusal to despair eventually outweighs the crushing volume of his sins. The man crawls out of the fire on his face, praising the Creator for a rescue into the barren space between realms, an escape he considers better than anything given to those before him. Exhausted, he sees a tree in the distance. He begs to reach it just for the shade and water, swearing a solemn oath that he will never ask for another favor. God grants the request, accepting the promise despite the inherent human tendency toward short-term memory and rising desire. Predictably, the man spots a second tree, more beautiful than the first. He breaks his oath and begs to move. Then he sees a third tree at the very gates of paradise and asks again. From the third tree, the music and sense of heaven become audible. Overcome, he begs to enter. God asks if he would be satisfied if he were given an estate 10 times the size of the earth. The man's response is shockingly human. He asks, "Are you mocking me, even though you are the Lord of the worlds?" And the Creator laughs. In this moment, the boundary between the divine and the human blurs into a shared understanding of frailty. Infinite justice makes room for the flaws of the soul, provided the heart's connection to the divine remains authentic. This same standard of internal intent, the very thing that saved a 1,000-year sinner, operates with lethal precision in the opposite direction. The first people condemned in the apocalypse are not always the obvious criminals. They include the martyr, the scholar, and the philanthropist, men who arrived with towering blocks of deeds. But those deeds dissolve into hollow outlines upon inspection. Because their internal compass was set on social status, their sacrifices carry no spiritual weight. The fire consumes public crimes, but it also finds the hidden arrogance of a silent heart, those who harbored ingratitude in their homes, or a quiet denial of the Creator's rights. Salvation, then, is not a calculation of grand external gestures. It is a ruthless audit of the heart's hidden orientation. This shifts the focus from the distant judgment to the immediate present. The framework is simple. Protect your youth before old age, health before sickness, wealth before poverty, free time before busyness, and life before death. If a single genuine cry can erase 1,000 years of punishment, then every small, pure intention you cultivate today holds foundational importance. Allama Iqbal observed that human beings are not born of light or fire. We are neutral creatures, and our ultimate reality is forged entirely by our actions. It is a philosophy of balance. Never despair of mercy, no matter how deep the failure, but never rely on the illusion of your own perfection.